They're coming in fairly hot, and if they can come out of tonight with another win in CCL quarters, I mean, it's going to be sky's the limit. I mean, you're going to be feeling pretty good heading into tomorrow. But again, it all, like we were saying before, it all starts with the momentum that this team is going to gain at the start and beginning of rounds. So hopefully they get off to a hot start once we eventually get into our game.
Yeah, I mean, if you're U of T, I think that the number one thing you have to focus on is obviously finding ways to shut out players like D&D and also Sushi. These guys are more like mental players as well. I'm not trying to put the whole team on blast here, but when you get rid of their momentum, these guys are prone to make really big mistakes. The last time we saw them here, it was kind of one of those things where they were up, they give up a couple of rounds, and all of a sudden, we're just solo walking on split. This is back on split. We're just solo walking an Omen down the A lobby side of things, and he just gets picked off. Your whole team's sectioned in mid, and they were waiting off for that Omen utility, right, to take space there. When we looked at it, right, he dies from ramps from an op, and he's just solo peeking it, right, just slow walks into it. Woody and JP just simply didn't hold back. They were like, yeah, that was stupid. And it's mistakes like that that happen with these guys, as well as there was some unbind that I could talk about. They don't happen out of nowhere. They happen off of rounds lost and mental chalking. And when talking to some of these guys earlier, right, especially D&D as well, like, mental's the biggest thing probably that he's trying to work on. And that's a good thing, right, obviously, to point out your, not your flaws, but just what you're aware of, your self-awareness, and what you know can get better. And I told him, I was like, guys, yeah, I mean, honestly, you need to think of it this way. When it comes to mechanics and whatnot, sky's the limit for you all. You all are very talented players. You know that on your best, you can compete with the best, right? So if that's already there, we got to stop worrying about that. Trust in your mechs, trust in your skill. You need to really focus more on how you're going to be able to keep calm, think situations through, right? Keep a level head. If these guys can do that, I know they're capable of great things. And this match would mean essentially more of a nothing burger to them. Like, I'm that confident in their skill, right? But it's on them. And that's the best way that I can put it. If you want St. Clair ACAD to fall and crumble, you need them to beat themselves, and you need to make plays in order to get that to happen. And that's where I'm sitting here, and I'm like, man, if they go into this double dive, that could totally be the case. And they have elected not to do that on split, which is more than expected.
Yeah, not this time. I think everything else pretty standard to what we expect. You know, you have Sushi, you know, playing into your smokes. You do bring the double, you know, you have the waylay coming in with D&D. I don't think that's a surprise. You know, we're expecting D&D to pick up this duelist, but anything else that's really jumping out at you? We have two sort of like intel gatherers here. We have the Cypher and the Fade as well, and then the Breach coming in as your fifth. I mean, you said there, so I think, and you have sort of like a quizzical look on your face. What are you thinking?
Well, I believe minus D&D on Waylay, stick him on Raze, this is actually the exact same comp that we saw from them last time on Split. And to me, I'm looking at U of T's comp, and I'm just thinking it's definitely more like up to date. Now,
It's
obviously
balanced as well, I would say.
yeah, like the number one thing, obviously, the elephant in the room is we're playing the Breach up against the Sky, and I'm a little bit surprised of that because I thought that Jello has had experience playing Sky, actually, in fact, on Bind. I'm surprised that you don't bring it out on the Split. Maybe you just play Breach differently and you're more comfortable with it. But Sky just had a decent change being brought to her for most Flash initiators, is that her Flash recharges now on 60 seconds. So you're gonna, if you buy two, you're gonna be able to get a third if you use one early, right? It just depends. So yes, while 60 seconds is a long period for cooldown, it's definitely going to involve a lot more, it's going to be a lot more consistent, let's just go ahead and say that, than Breach. Plus, you get that little more intel already, so you can then afford to pick up the Viper as a secondary smoker, and you don't need to then burn a pick on the Cypher as well.
Interesting comp coming through from St. Clair, but see if it pays out for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
They will get the start on attack, and we are underway. Jello already, he's going to be getting some action early. He's going to get traded out, but 3 picks in response for the ACAT team, and they're already off to the races.
Yeah, and they're trying to flood through this garage site, though. The paranoia going to be able to clear out most of them for now. The respawn paranoia comes through and hits Doom Shroom, but these guys have yet to get through Garage. It needs to be Sushi to find that pick, and he's going to be able to do just that. Oddku, positioned in mail now, knows that there's a little bit of presence mid, as he's going to need to try to take the engagement, but D&D clears his head from his shoulders. Give him the 3K. He's feeling real good on round 1.
Ice cold in the veins early, and I mean, if his prediction comes true, he said, guys, if we get pistol, we're cruising from here, and they got pistol, Patrick, so hopefully they can keep this momentum going. I liked what I saw at the onset, right? You know, you lose a guy early on a lurk, you answer with 3 picks of your own, you crash site, you have control, nothing that UOT can do to really get more control out of it. Oddku, just a really tough situation there. You're just not able to do much, and even Joe, I mean, he does get a dink as well, I think, before he goes down, but
yeah,
doesn't matter. The St. Clair find a way to win. He gets some rifles now to bring into round number 2. They should be able to find this conversion. Let's see where they decide to take it.
Yeah, well, they just got to make sure that they just play their range right now and just make sure that you keep as many rifles as you can. Try to play the round as perfectly as possible, as that Sky Flash is going to come out of Zips, but I believe it didn't actually hit anybody, as I think maybe the Omen Smoke might have just cut it off here. Is Mel going to be taken through now? Dizzy, first one up. Guardian in hand is going to toss a cage down on the stairs side and set up some trips. And now it's going to be on U of T to see how they sort of want to retake this B side, because St. Clair ACAD, it's completely free for them.
Yeah, they have so much control on that side of the map, and setting up Dizzy, one of your best shooters on the team, set up with the Guardian in Heaven, that's going to be really tough for UOT to try and break back in to the site. And D&D, I mean, he's getting active early. He's good for the double, can't find 3, but it doesn't matter. The rest of his team has his back. Crimson on an island up in Heaven. Sushi will finish it. ACAD starting off hot. They win their conversion, and they're looking very, very strong thus far.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously, when you have Phantoms, it's not going to be much of a competition here, and, you know, D&D doing a good job to clear out 2 and really start the tempo for these guys, and that's exactly what you need to see there. You needed them to take space and yet play aggressively, but make sure that you clear out with utilities your close angles when you're up against those classics. And now, in round number 3, this is going to be where things get real for U of T. You really want them to convert here, and they have the utility to definitely be able to do so.
See Sushi, he's going to be leading the charge near the site. Shroom is going to get a look-see. He's going to try and set the smoke out. Flash does come through and connect, but not really enough for St. Clair to really take advantage of that. The rotation is going to come through. You still have D&D trying to find some intel. He's going to back his way out, though. Intel gathered, and he's going to rotate with the rest of his team near mid. But you can look and see how UOT's defense is set up here. They're waiting to play off of contact here. I mean, this mid play going to be telling to see if UOT has anything in the tank to maybe try and stop something. St. Clair, though, they're already moving. They're not staying there anywhere close.
And I mean, yeah, look at the lurk from Dizzy through tower. I wanted to point it out. This guy was just going all the way through A, and he's going to be able to find a pickup onto Crimson. That's your Sky gone, as 6 Rex going up the Zips, but it is tripped out, so D&D will know exactly where the player is positioned. You know the rest have to kind of come in through the CT side of things, and Oddku and company, they're going to have to try to brute force their way in, though. It's going to be the ult that comes through from the Waylay. 2 go down, and all of a sudden, St. Clair, you didn't really have to try to swing into this. You could have played a little more defensively. This flood, it needs to come through eventually right now from U of T. Is Pre going to go down. Oddku working his way out through the smoke, but the paranoia is very good. Taps on the spikes, but as far as I'm concerned, these kills are all meant to happen. U of T, they can't find a way through. Dizzy, with a great lurk on the tower side, starts things off strong for them.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see. Some really solid stuff, really strong map awareness coming through. Dizzy making some big impact plays early, and obviously can't discount Sushi as well. A 4K in the round, big stuff, and that's what we need to see. We need to see everybody contributing on this team. And I mean, right now, I mean, it's still very early on, but I like what I'm seeing. I know you were talking about the swing that you probably don't need to take, but they didn't really do much after. Like, once that happens, you lose a member, you settle down, you play a lot smarter, and for right now, I mean, we were expecting a very aggressive look out of this U of T side. I mean, obviously right now it's tough when you're forced to eco once again, but even the round that they had util and rifles, we didn't really see as much aggression as we might have been expecting. St. Clair able to take advantage of it, and so far, they're just running everything. They're very much in control of this game as of right now.
And right now, St. Clair, they need to try to find this pick onto Oddku and take this male side immediately. You do not want to push into Zips right now. Neon is just 6 Rex sitting so close to the Bucky, can immediately kill you and then either stun to buy themselves time to back up into Zips, but the whole point is they can get a free pick and then work their way out and save their life. And now you can see they want to try to get aggressive out of the Zips side, but such great composure from D&D, and patience proves to be a virtue. The flash comes through, people blind, but the other twin, Jello, going to be able to find the pick, gets a second as well. Sushi, his death not in vain, is now Draken finds himself on the board, and Pre, all of the sudden, you find yourself broke, afraid, pretty much, in a 1v4 scenario. But obviously, you just want to see if you can make this round as messy as possible for St. Clair.
I think that's the only thing you can really do at this point, is just try and find some exits if you're Pre, and if anything, maybe try and save this Bucky, but hey, we don't even have to think about that any longer. Jello's going to pick up a 3K. Good start for him, a 4K for his twin brother. Jello picking up a 3K, so good start for the ACAD team. And again, it's just more of this control that we're seeing out of this team. And good refrags as well, good trades. You know, you lose one, able to find the other pick immediately. Really, really strong stuff. I think we're seeing like a much more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a team that's in control early. You know, they're playing at a much stronger pace. We'll get a replay of this as well in this last round. Or all right, never mind. I guess we're cutting the replay as we'll go through a slideshow, some previous rounds. But hey, that's okay. We'll get right back into the present.
It's all good.
D&D, he's frying in the past and the present. ACAT team already up 1.
Well, you know what? He's looking to be frying in the future as well, but first off, you got to clear out Oddku from this ramp side position just behind the box. He's actually going to do that job themselves, but look at Dizzy. I mean, this guy is just unbelievable right now. The lurks, the timings, it's beautiful stuff. The ult, the cage being triggered, he just walks right on through. You think the guy doesn't have the guts to do it. I can tell you right now, he does not give a damn. Sushi to find one onto 6 Rex, and Doom Shroom again. Blink and you miss it. St. Clair, their round to take.
This is really starting to get dire for U of T. I mean, you don't have a lot of econ to work with as is, and if St. Clair goes flawless here, this is going to be a really tough buy coming into this next round, and that's exactly what happens. St. Clair just absolutely in control, dialed in to start. You were talking about how this is a momentum-based team. Well, they sure as hell have built some momentum up early, and they are really feeling it at the start of this round. U of T, I just haven't seen anything to make me believe that they have a chance in this game early. Just nothing.
I'm not going to lie. You know what? When you have D&D warming up and running some skins that Benito Flakes told them to put on and said that was the reason why he was going to be on a heater. Benito Flakes, you've got some good picks apparently in terms of skins, because D&D is going ballistic right now, 8-1, and there you go. He told me to say that. This is a requirement for the stream, so it's been met. I've completed my contract. Can I get my bonus money now?
It'll be in the office after we're done.
Perfect.
Is mine in there too?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
I'll hold you to that.
There you go. D&D.
Observers say I'm hoping that's a yes for me. But
hey, anyway, 5-0 right now. D&D and the rest frying as they have to, and this is really tough because if you're U of T, you've just been getting crashed on the entire time. The one thing I will say is Dizzy has had multiple moments where he has just gone unchecked and has completely created insane space off of the couple of frags that he has gotten for St. Clair. Only has 4 picks throughout the entire game. I'd make an argument that they've been some of the most impactful.
I would have to agree. When you have a guy like Dizzy, I mean, usually we're seeing him pick up like a chamber. We know he's got a good shot. And to have him on a lurk is so dangerous. I mean, you find a pick in mid early, and D&D as well contributing to this party early. So U of T, they find a pick early, but not able to capitalize, as St. Clair still have map control. B completely under their control. U of T, they're going to have to fight their way back in. You do have a judge on your side, but with how far away Pre is, that's not going to be completely relevant right now, as Onku and D&D trying to duel it out here, and Onku will win that fight, so U of T now can take some space back sight, but it's going to be Sushi this next line of contact.
Yeah, again, if you're Sushi, you just want to make sure you get the perfect timing, sidesteps the flash, and is going to be able to find one, and now knows that the other two are on the CT area. With this timer going down, I doubt there's going to be any more time to get this one off. I was going to say, maybe not going to win close range against that judge. You do give up a rifle, but they're not even going to be able to keep it. Jello, he's got the last two, and U of T, they go to next round with absolutely nothing in the tank.
And it's a good thing they got that, because I was almost wondering, it's like, why are we just throwing bodies at this guy? Like, we're just giving them a rifle for free. I mean, definitely a choice, but it's okay, as it ended up not mattering in the long run. But another great example of a solid St. Clair attack, and good job from Sushi at delaying this push as well. You find a great pick, you negate the Sky Flash as well, and just delaying time like that, so valuable for this team. You're already up 6 right now, and have just been looking so strong. I can't really see St. Clair slowing down momentum anytime soon.
No, playing fast has just been working for them, and D&D gathered a little bit of intel, sends the saturation, makes the player back up into the CT side, and that allows St. Clair to take the ground that they need. This Fade Eye not going to find anyone in terms of position, but 6rex will, as he's going to be able to get one through tower, and this is huge for Oddcool and company. The headshot goes through, and at least D&D can take another one, but the Fade ult should roll on in, and this should be U of T to be able to take ground here. They do still have to clear out Dizzy, and yes, time is a factor, but when you have a 1v3, it's almost certainly going to happen. The Neon comes through, the stun to be locked. You find a headshot, and there's no way you're going to be able to get this guy through the smoke. He's halved it, but he gets another. I was going to say, it was looking real close. Dizzy plays that scenario pretty much as well as you can, but through sheer numbers advantage, U of T, they get through.
I think even the fact that you find that pick after being flashed out like that from a Neon is incredible as is, and like
Calm aim, man.
Like you said, like even though U of T takes that round, still very expensive for them. You know, you still only left with one, so I think all things considered, a great hold from St. Clair. You still lose it, but definitely not panic stations yet. Good job from Dizzy to at least stop that defuse at the onset, but St. Clair Zcon still popping right now, and if you're U of T, you sort of give yourself a little bit of a safety net going into this round. Still able to buy into it, but another St. Clair win sets you right back down to 0.
Yeah, and they know one's definitely towards the B side, and with the shots echoing out, now it's pretty easy to think that St. Clair are stacked in the garage, and that means the rotation through mid will definitely have to happen. And I was going to say, I don't think I see Pre putting up that Viper wall anytime soon. If the rotation comes through, they definitely want to make sure they're aware of it. The blind goes in the cage as well. D&D chases the player down zips, but 6rex sitting with this judge close on the male steps is definitely going to be really hard to jar loose.
Yeah, but St. Clair are going to be rotating away from that. You do have D&D still on this lurk on top mid. You can at least find one to create a little bit more space for St. Clair. That is going to be key. Is Sushi going to send out that paranoid? The rest of the team still stacked up in the garage, smoke out into heaven. That forces U of T back. The breach ult going to come through to try and clear out some more space. Not going to hit anybody, but Sushi, his shot is going to hit before getting traded out.
Yeah, and this is really good right now from U of T. They've completely isolated some of these St. Clair members. The fact that Doomshroom dies in the backside, there's a little bit concerning. In D&D, he's got the play of a lifetime. Control, it's all you need. You find two, but this is huge. St. Clair, 10 seconds left. They can push on through. Jello trying to find the plant right now, and he needs coverage. He's going to be able to get it from Dizzy with the judge. And St. Clair, give him the plant to the spike. They'll get a few bonus creds as well.
And again, like we called out earlier, that lurk from D&D paying dividends is, like you said, a play of a lifetime there. I mean, U of T just completely leaving this heaven position unguarded, leading to 2 free kills, essentially. I mean, look at this. The gun barrel of Pre is exposed. 6rex not even looking at him, and the damage is already done at that point, giving St. Clair a chance to crash a site. You plant the spike as well, more money in your back pocket, and for U of T, broke boys once again.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, it's easy for us to comment, but in hindsight, if 6rex just simply sat in that male positioning with that judge, D&D probably doesn't get that that flank off. And instead, now you're looking at a bunch of players that are trapped in Garage with no really in to flood. Yeah, if it's not for D&D, that round goes the way of U of T there. So a huge play from an impact player.
You can see, speaking of D&D, already on another work around this A site. Viper's Pit already out for U of T on this A side. Is St. Clair going to be heading towards that? It's going to be nestled in with the shorty, so St. Clair rethink their strategy here. Dizzy going to get a little bit of an upgrade, as the rest of the team is going to join him.
Oh, I don't think that Whaley ult's going to hit anybody. You got to make sure that you place it right. No, instead you're going to opt in to just dash through the entirety of the pit. It's just not going to work. The bandit headshot comes on through. Yeah, you had one, I believe, hit with the saturation, but unfortunately it's not enough to burn out. And now St. Clair, not necessarily panic stations just yet, but with 30 seconds left to go in a rotation needed to be made. It's pretty clear-cut and obvious in where they're going to come through. The first pick from Crimson. Nice headshot there onto Jello. And now St. Clair stuck in between a little bit of a rock and a hard place.
And unfortunately, the reason that happens, I don't think that smoke was perfectly placed to give them the cover they needed. So St. Clair does pay for that. And with 12 seconds left, smoke and shotguns on the other side. I don't think they're going to be able to break through here. This should be U of T's round, barring a miracle. And yeah, will be St. Clair just going to call it off. Not much to do. An ult was invested. U of T, they finally get back on the board, slow this bleeding a little bit, but a little bit not really expensive because they stay flawless. But if you're St. Clair, that's okay. This A execute, you know, I think we spent a little bit too much time trying to get through this Viper's Pit. I think maybe seeing that, maybe we should have called the rotation a little quicker. Obviously, if that mid-smoke comes through in the correct position, you probably don't lose Jello on this cross. Maybe you can make a play on B, but didn't have the numbers, didn't have the time. U of T get their second.
I want to see the lineup of that again, though. Like, I'm wondering if D&D just used his first dash and went, like, up. Well, maybe he could have gone like forwards and up, and then maybe could have hanged an immediate right and gotten past the Viper's Pit. I don't know. I'd need to see it back again, and beggars can't be choosers. What I can say is that D&D can't do either of those two things because, well, dead people, they can't beg, and they sure as hell can't choose.
So wise, Patrick. And I think for U of T, that's the first time we've really gotten D&D out early. And that was something we talked about, is something they need to try and leverage is negating aggressive players like D&D early. So the fact that you find that entry pick, you should be able to close the dragnet in a little bit more on the St. Clair team and really choke off any lanes they can rotate around these sites. Of St. Clair, they're kind of left in an awkward position. A 3-1 split right now. You have Sushi trying to smoke up this mid position, and he is going to fall. So the rest of the team left by their lonesome on A. You are going to get this plant down, but this rotation definitely going to be coming through from U of T, and they still have full numbers.
Yeah, and the problem is they have tower control, and that's the number one thing is for St. Clair. They're going to be fighting this from ramps, but it's already so obvious. The fault line does come through, and that'll surely help. But yeah, that Sky Flash is going to immediately deal with any oncoming pressure. Another one marked by the eye. Crimson, he's just hitting the shots right now. Jello, there's no way he gets out of this. I don't care. There's no shot that you clutch that one out in a 1v5 scenario that was. Sure, you're able to get one, but 4 more needed for the win, and that simply will not be the case. U of T, a really good job as they establish numbers to the tower side of things, and they get going.
Finally, I think they get going. It's been a very slow start for this U of T team, and I think they're trying to at least close this half out on a positive note. I think 7-5 is probably your best case scenario in this situation, and it looks like they're, you know, finally starting to wake up a little bit. Some good shots there. I mean, that's a nice one-tap coming through from Crimson, and a big Sky Flash as well, and it's good to see some life out of this U of T side. That's 3 out of the last 4 for them, but St. Clair, this economy is so built up, you can still invest into this round here, so definitely not panic stations yet. D&D gonna sneak his way out of there. Cage goes down, gives some more cover. Looks like St. Clair, they're gonna try their luck on this A side once again.
But I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think this convergence of paths really even hit anyone right now. So yeah, St. Clair, they've just kind of walked in here a little bit blind, and unfortunately, while they do have sight, the info that's been gained from the sky. Yeah, you almost need to counter ult right here. Dizzy and D&D, they're going to be able to find 2 picks, but this is really just to create space for yourself. I don't hate the Fade ult, as now Draken can get a pick down, or can get a plant down, and now it's going to be a 3v3, but time on your side.
It's going to be a big hold if you're St. Clair, as 6 Rex
Neon.
already backside, and D&D going to fall, so that's going to be very, very tough. Now with Draken, good to swing on one, but is going to fall. But Dizzy, he's still up and fighting. 1v1 with Doom Shroom. Cam going to give him some intel. You know where he is at this point. You just have to try and make the play, and oh, I thought he had it there. It's going to take one more shot. Dizzy is going to hit it. The triple coming through St. Clair. The defense bends but does not break, and they find a way forward once again, right the ship.
And that is such a well-played scenario there from Dizzy. Knows exactly what he has to do, keeps composure, and yeah, you know what? That is definitely one word to describe that man right there. Is definitely the most composed individual on the entire team, in my opinion, and I don't think anyone would beg to differ. He's able to deal with situations like this. The last time we saw him out as well, there were so many times where he was so near getting like 3 or 4 clutches in the last game. So this time, why clutch when your team's not going to put you in situations where you have to all that often? D&D going to be able to walk in through and find yet another first blood, doing his job on the waylay, and definitely building space for St. Clair. Going to be able to find a second as well. This guy is just on red hot fire. Give him a third. Beautiful shots right now from D&D. Finds 4, whips up the shorty, just gets stolen of the ace. But it does not matter. Eventually St. Clair, through sheer numbers, will be able to get that one through. A cheeky 4K from D&D, who's feeling his trigger early.
Well, I think you're right. That really has been the catalyst for the success of St. Clair in this, you know, obviously just his first half, but like you said, this is a team that really builds off of momentum. When you get your guy, your entry guy, firing on all cylinders early, it means it might be a good day at the office if you're the St. Clair ACAT team. And I mean, a 9-3 opening half against UOT, a team that we thought was going to match up fairly well against this ACAT team, and St. Clair has just completely come in and squash that narrative thus far, playing very, very strong on map number 1. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Yeah, 100%. This is probably the best way you could think to start it on out on a 9-3 half, as now defensively you just got to make sure that this is the bend but don't break portion. St. Clair, we know they like getting aggressive here, but they got to make sure that they can get out with bodies saved over. It looks like D&D, he just wants to take the swing even longer. The Paranoia going to be countered out by the Breach Flash, and they're just going to be walking up mid here. They don't give a damn. They're sending it all at one time. The Sky Flash comes through, the reswing. No, they know one's through Sewers. Sushi going to be able to find the pickup. Dizzy gets one as well, and D&D claims the last through Sewers. What can't these guys do?
You can just tell that they're feeling it right now. Like you said, just walking up through mid, unabated, undeterred. And what does UFT do? They just crumple like a wet piece of paper. They just have no resistance at all here. I mean, very limp attempt. I mean, you at least find one pick, but I mean, in terms of a pistol round to start the half, that's incredibly disastrous if you're UFT. You find one pick. You have nothing really, you can't even really hero rifle in this situation if you're UFT. So St. Clair about to find 11, you would assume, obviously barring a miracle from this UFT side. Already off to a good start, but in this situation...
Dizzy, there's no way.
Oh, you don't. He's thinking about it, but...
I think he knows there's got to be one on the other side. I mean, you see a couple with the Bulldog. You find 2, 3 for Sushi. Dizzy takes out the last, and yeah, that's about how I expected that one to go when you have a rifle swinging onto ramps with 3 players on a pistol.
If I'm doing this, I need someone's Vandal, bro.
It's that easy for these guys.
They're asking if they even need the blind, and look, at the end of the day,
at this point,
D&D is saying just no, just give me the Vandal. I just need the Vandal. And you know what, right now, I get why. This guy's just been on red-hot fire. Sushi with a great play through ramps, though. He's going to be able to find 3. Dizzy to make sure that he can find the 4th, who's not going to be able to pick up the refrag. And yeah, I mean, this is just tough. They're UFT are finding themselves in such hard situations. Even on the first round, times where you have St. Clair walking up mid, you counter with the Paranoia. But unfortunately, Jello sends a perfectly sound breach flash through towards the sewer side of things, and everyone's just left blind. You can't even find any counter pressure.
It's just everything coming up St. Clair to start this one. If you're U of T, this is definitely a game you're going to want to forget. I mean, you still have time, obviously, to find a way back in, but with the way the econ situation is for U of T, if St. Clair find a way to get to match point here, that's basically wraps at this point. You're sort of forced to buy into this situation, but it could pay off as an opening double from Doom. Shroom is going to open up this B side for U of T as the rotation going to come through Garage and Mail. Jello, though, he's going to try and gain some control of Heaven, but can't find the quick scope. U of T in a prime position to get this plant down.
And this is good from U of T, but Sushi, his flank, known about the headshot through the wall. Pre does a good job there. Draken can try to see if he can make this round a little bit messy.
No more dreams.
A nice flick, and at the end of the day, that's all you're really trying to do is you're trying to minimize the amount of rifles that U of T would have for next round, but they will be able to clean that one up in very solid fashion. They keep 4 alive, moving on to round 4 of the second half.
And if you're St. Clair, there wasn't a full investment into that round either, so you still have yourself.
Doesn't have to be.
Exactly, you still have yourself set up for a really solid round here. You knew that if for some reason UOT was able to come back, you have that safety net if you need to. They're able to take advantage of that. Just, you know, not a great defense point. I mean, this double right here is really what sets it off for UOT. There's just not much you can do, and even if Jello is able to find that shot, I still don't think St. Clair is able to hold defensively. But that's okay. You know, you still have yourself set up very, very nicely. Sushi, oh, he's just getting railed by utility early. He is going to escape, but UOT, they're trying to get aggressive early. D&D also going to sneak his way out of there. Draken, though, he's going to find first blood.
Yeah, and that's absolutely huge that Sushi's able to at least get out of that Rams position, and through there, St. Clair, they were able to peel back, gains a little bit of info off from D&D, and recall out as they've been playing very passive-aggressive on the ramp side, and that's good to see from them. As, again, I think the number one thing that speaks to me is St. Clair, ACAD, this team, they have exuded a lot more discipline when needed in this game of Split. And that was something that I was looking forward to seeing change from the last time out. These guys, seems like they've done their note-taking. They definitely look a whole lot better than they did last time we were watching them.
It's discipline and composure really being shown, and the fact that it's also come from back for them. We're seeing why they feel so confident going in to Split right now. They just have such good setups for it. They know exactly what they need to do. They're comfortable on it, and
oh, we're gonna have to see that shot back again.
Oh.
Are you kidding me? And D&D is going to be able to find a second off of that as well. I mean, this guy is feeling it. Doom Shroom lost alive, but
10 seconds left.
You just got to back up. There is nothing you can do. Play for the save of your rifle. And St. Clair, they're going to be looking at match point.
I think, like you said, D&D with a big swing to save this one for St. Clair.
Got to see that. You got to see that flick again.
I thought
wish
both
we
of
caught
them.
his POV on that.
I thought both of them were dead to rights. There somehow St. Clair is able to flick on, or D&D is able to flick onto the head and just find a way to get that double. Really, really good stuff coming through. I guess we'll just have to imagine the replay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's all good.
That's all right.
Replays in Valorant are hard to get. Replays in Valorant are hard. And trust me, I've done replay before, and there's a reason why I haven't been put on a Valorant stream just yet. So now, Pre trying to work his way up mid, and I just gotta say, hey, producer, you don't blast crickets in my ear. I didn't say anything bad about that, okay?
What do you mean?
That's all Ev. That's all his fault.
Hey, it was no ill will was meant. I couldn't do it either, so I could not do it either. So there's absolutely no ill will. It's fine. It was a good shot either way, and hey, it's a good result because St. Clair now in a prime position to take map number 1. Sushi on another lurk. He's got 2 members of U of T that are hustling their way over. Spike coming as well. Crimson, you don't want to beat that because Sushi, he's gonna find your head. You're gonna get that paranoia or smoke out as well. Oddku sort of left on an island now. Does have Doom Shroom there in support, but Sushi's still holding this angle. They know he's there, and he is still frying. Only one left in his path, and he will find it. Sushi and the rest of the ACAT team dominate map number 1 in this series. 13-4, your score. And what more could you say about the performance in map number 1? So strong. Everything seeming to go their way.
I mean, you couldn't have started that night any other way in a better fashion than St. Clair ACAT did right there. Huge pickups from DND throughout the entire map, was on fire. Sushi as well, not lagging too far in behind when it comes to the frags department. And Dizzy, man, showing some real good composure in high pressure situations. Drake and Jello, they were definitely doing their part as well. There was not a weak link on this St. Clair side. These guys all had a very comfortable map 1, and that'll be transitioning very nicely into this bind matchup that we have coming soon.
Yeah, and it's a really good momentum builder as well, and a confidence booster as well. You know, we have a team that we've said it so many times tonight, a team that really, you know, they benefit from playing very, you know, well. Team that's really rooted in this momentum-based gameplay, and I think that's, with the way they performed on map number 1, I mean, that's a statement right there, if anything, right? They've really come into the series. They've said exactly what they needed to say. They're coming for this UFT team, and they got to play them again tomorrow. So I think we talked about how this was sort of the appetizer, the preview for the series tomorrow. If they could tap into this again tomorrow and for at least one more map today, it's going to be hard to stop this team 2 days in a row, but obviously we'll worry about that when we get there. As we head into our second map of Bind, again, another map that St. Clair is very strong on, is UFT's map pick. You would assume that they're feeling a little bit better going to their own map pick, but I mean, if you're UFT, what can you really take away from Split in terms of positives? Because there's not much. I mean, you're able to stop the bleeding in like a couple of rounds, but there's just really nothing you can really talk about of like stringing together positive rounds. I don't know, man. Unless you have some thoughts, but
I definitely do have some thoughts, but we'll only get to those after we take a short break. When we come back, map 2 coming soon.
I'm still loving when it starts to rain, 'cause that means I stay in bed all day, like when we were together. Now I'm watching the weather, thinking that there's something that's missing. The late nights were skinny dipping, 'cause there's something you and I used to do. It's just a sad kind of happy. Have to replay all the memories. Everything lies to remind me of what you do. It's just a sad kind of happy. Have to replay all the memories. Everything lies
Player standing.
Please say my name. You're thinking it out loud. But I love those days when there's no one else around. I can feel your heart close to mine. In the night, my sleep talking about you with me. I could die just thinking about you and you're not with me. Oh, this time you fill my head and then my daydreams of you. In the night, my sleep talking about you with me. I could die just thinking about you and you're not with me. Oh, this time you fill my head and then my daydreams of you. Can't get enough of you. Can't get enough In the night, my sleep talking about you with me. I could die just thinking about you and you're not with me. Oh, this time you fill my head and then my daydreams of you. In the night, my sleep talking about you with me. I could die just thinking about you and you're not with me. Oh, this time you fill my head and then my daydreams of you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. For more CCL action, we just got out of a very huge game for St. Clair ACAD. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Evan, not really, Evan Johnson. And now we're heading into map 2. Thank you, Prod, for the word for word.
You have to make sure you remember.
Yes,
It's hard sometimes.
sure.
You know, I understand. But hey, you know what isn't hard? Is St. Clair winning on split.
No,
That was easy.
Yes.
For them. I mean, I think that's the best way to say it. It was easy. I mean, like, what, you're up like 6-0 at one point in half number 1, like 5-0. I mean, game's already over at that point. Like, U of T, like we were kind of saying at the tail end, you know, before the break, is that there just weren't a lot of positives to take away from that. That's just a VOD you just chuck it in the bin after, because St. Clair was just dominating from start to finish. And we're going to take a look at some stats for that game as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, D&D, the man of the hour right now, 21-9 with 324 on the ACS is looking good. Sushi with 19-10 was right behind him. And, I mean, Dizzy as well with over a 3 KD. This guy, ratio-wise, frying.
It's pretty, stats are pretty ugly over on the UOT side. Oddku, the only member in double digits, but everyone else just...
Under.
Yeah, that's rough.
Under or at 0.5 in terms of KD ratio.
That's rough.
Yeah, especially when you have a player like Sixrex who is going to have to be thriving on momentum that we know the dive duelist needs to have. And again, it just didn't
completely negated.
It just didn't seem like playing off the paranoias of Doomshroom or the flashes or info gathered from the sky that they could really do that all that effectively. And there were times, you know, again, going into bind where St. Clair, we were talking about how, you know, we can see sometimes they have a little more shallow attacks. I do want to point out there are some concerns for me on split. When we looked at times where St. Clair had to pull rotations off, sometimes those got a little bit messy, especially when they happened to be towards the B side of things. We saw some times where they got really stuck, especially on their garage floods, and sometimes could not, or not that they couldn't clear out the player, which was usually the Omen playing behind the pillar with Paranoia through garage, but it required play from mid that sometimes went off when it shouldn't have needed to. Like, for example, the D&D flank, right? If the Neon just sits there with a judge, U of T takes that round. Dizzy had one as well earlier, and Jello and Sushi kind of just walked through hell, right? Those things don't happen without these high-impact picks that go down off of not necessarily a 50-50 gunfight, but a 50-50 walk-up that you don't exactly know what you're going to be seeing by the time you cross into mail. So, again, rounds that could go either way, but St. Clair, hey, luck was just on their side for the draw. Now, what do they get for it? They get bind.
They get bind, and we get agents as well. A little bit of change to this St. Clair comp. We're going to be swapping out that breach for a sky. If you're Jello, we got your smoke player in Clove this time. A solid choice, I'd say, in terms of smokes, but you have Viper as well to add some support. D&D sticking on that Waylay, Dizzy on the Cypher. I think those are two decent picks. Very, very strong showings on map number 1. You take a look at U of T, very different in terms of you have the Brim for smokes, you have the Raze as well, 6Rex trying his hand, a different duelist, the Reyna coming through as well, Fade, Viper staying the same. We talk about bind and how important util usage is, especially with smokes, Brim being almost a necessity in certain situations, especially if you're trying to take certain sites. So I think the fact that St. Clair maybe isn't picking into that might cause some concern, because that was a problem we saw the last time we had ACAT on stream,
literally
missing those smokes. So I was always expecting them to try and pick into a Brim this time, but obviously they must have some sort of a plan. But that does put a lot of pressure on Sushi and Drake, and make sure if they are going to be smoking scenario or certain positions that these smokes are primo.
Yeah, definitely. And the number one thing that I'm going to be looking out for as well is how the Clove, especially how that character can kind of act as more of another option for fragging power, another duelist, if you will, even though they can drop smokes down. There's a lot of killing power on the side for St. Clair ACAD. What I need to see them work on now is how they've gotten better at timings with that can be taken with your dive duelist off of your Sky utility. There were times last time in Bind that we saw them where these were extremely sloppy, and it was also partly, in fact, for the point that you didn't really have a Brim on your side who could cover as many angles at the same time. So, look, I'm not saying that they have the keys to that castle once again, but what I'm saying is it requires work to be built off of, and that was a month ago. This is a St. Clair ACAD team of now and today, and they're definitely looking good after map 1. You gotta think with the mental buffs and whatnot, reset, you go into a new one right now if you're U of T, but for St. Clair, you just gotta ride high on that wave.
Yeah, try to at least at, the onset, and it's going to start with this pistol round again. It's if they can come out firing in this first pistol round, really establish themselves once again, I think that's going to be a sign of a good time. They will be starting on attack once again. We saw how dominant it was on split, but it's a whole new ball game now on bind, whole new comp. Let's see if St. Clair is up to snuff for map number 2.
Yeah, and immediately it's going to be Oddku who looks to slow down any pressure real quick with a Fade Eye that will jump on through, but he's not even going to be able to get it through as Drake, and they see the arm go through the line smoke, and they will eventually be able to find a refrag. 6Rex with a well-placed Raze nade. But Sushi going to go down early.
But still, you feel like that has to be an early mistake coming through from U of T. I mean, you just can't afford to make these, mental errors this early, and we saw a couple of those happening on split as well, where it just didn't seem like everything was fully there for U of T in certain situations, and rearing its ugly head once again to start on bind. St. Clair, they've taken this rotation out through A-Long, the Skydog, trying to find something. This D&D, he's seen enough. He's going to try and make his way in. Dizzy going to create some more space for him, so with the site potentially free, you do have Pre in the background behind the smoke. Spike does go down. St. Clair now, first chance to defend this site.
Yeah, Pre just walking out of labs right now. Definitely the #1 player that you got to sort of account for, but these crosses are being held right now. D&D in a great position as that box on Shiny is going to be able to cut him off from the Labs cross line even more, as now Jello can really just sit back and garden and watch this. So Pre,
Sure, they have to know where he is now.
you got to make a move at some point. And I think when you give up the CT pressure, you immediately know that there could be a player here, but now off the brim volley, a great job to drive them out. This is really well done from U of T. Timer going down, trying to see if maybe you can find the shots with the top of the box. Dizzy, you just had to hit the diffuser, but unfortunately, that was not the case, and U of T going to be able to be good on the retake.
Really strong retake, and we didn't really see a lot of that on map number 1. So good to see the U of T maybe taking some notes and try to improve on this last one. I think if you're St. Clair, the fact that you're not able to clear out Pre on this lab side, I think that is detrimental to this whole. Pre can just hang out, give so much intel. You also are able to, if you're U of T, you get rid of the Cypher Cam as well. I think not having that if you're St. Clair, another one of these things that just lead to this round loss. And for U of T, this is the first lead you've had all day. So I think at the very least, you're trying to build towards something positive now. You should be able to find this conversion. St. Clair, let's go back to the drawing board to figure out where that attack went wrong. They're going to try their hand at A this time, and D&D, he's already paying for it.
Yeah, patience going to pay off right now for Doom Sherman. Had a pivotal role in winning the first round. Shots you would think would have been able to down the man, but not the case right now. Some decent damage being dealt on, but at the end of the day, Draken going to be the sole survivor. Finds one pick, but he's going to be cleared out of that ninja position very soon after, as U of T, they make good on their conversion.
They make it a little expensive, though. If you're St. Clair, you're able to find some picks, but the spike doesn't end up going down, so that's a little bit of econ you lose coming into this next round. And like you said, U of T are able to find this conversion here. I don't know how Dizzy's able to survive that one. I mean, he almost like turns away for a second before finding the headshot, but
because he thought that it killed him. He hits him with the alt fire and then hits him with a single as well.
And somehow
I mean,
Doomshroom just doesn't.
Just tanked it.
Yeah, I guess he's just. I guess Brim's just built different like that. He is at least his character model is pretty beefy, but that's okay.
Say, yeah,
hey.
the guy's got forearms like logs,
True.
man. I mean, yeah, it's gonna take a little bit to put him down, but Dizzy now knows. Maybe just wait until you see the kill marker pop up before you sort of start to turn away. Not that that hindered him from being able to find that conversion. Crimson has tucked himself into this very troublesome position just left of garden. Mind you, this is a very common angle, so yeah, it wouldn't be surprising. And D&D most likely aware of the fact that he's going to be either there or labs, but you got to make sure that regardless, you check the corner and you deal with it quickly, because Pre is just waiting right here, and they notice one close, and immediately the cross is way too good from U of T, the player just outside of the hookah window, helping out Crimson.
Yeah, that's just tough. You're not able to find any of those players. And I mean, if you're St. Clair, you know where they are too, and you're still swinging in and not able to convert on those. So that's a little bit of a mistake coming through for this ACAT team. Spike going down cold as well, right outside of Crimson's little tuck there. So if you're St. Clair, I mean, you have the luxury of this Viper Wall now to retake Spike, but you still have to clear out this Reyna, which you do. So space created. All going to be Doomshroom left in this container, but with the shotgun, you're able to find Draken. 2v3 now. St. Clair are going to get the spike down. Now if you're U of T, we saw how good their retakes were the last time. Let's see if they could do it again.
Yell remembers, I mean, St. Clair, they're the ones with the rifles in this scenario. One would think when you know there's a ton pushing through the hookah, or at least one pushing through the hookah side, that this cross has to be held. Dizzy going to be able to down two in garden, and now this doesn't get any easier. All Dizzy has to do is literally stay tucked, wait for the player to jump on down. He knows where his position is, so long as he doesn't give the pick on over to him, he can make sure that Pre has to worry about Sushi first. The swing comes through, and it's going to be too easy for Tyler to deal with. And St. Clair ACAD, they're able to pick up their first.
Yeah, good to slow that bleeding as well. You deny the bonus if you're St. Clair. And like you said, Dizzy just has an easy job there. You just have to hold this angle and make sure you don't have your player jump out of window. And that's exactly what they need to do to get done. And great job to get both of those as well if you're Dizzy to really slow down this chance at a retake. And another good chance for St. Clair to try and build up towards something positive here is they're trying to go for the tie, shading towards A once again, last attempt didn't really go their way, so I'm curious to see how they approach this potential A execute, and it's going to be a lot tougher now that D&D is down for the count.
Yeah, for sure. The number one thing is U of T, they've done a really good job of dealing with this early pressure that D&D's tried to set up, and you know, I start to get worried because not a lot of this has been off the back of any utility. It seems like he's just been trying to send it in through areas that he knows he has to clear, but to me it's been a little bit rushed right now. Shots missed out from Sushi, and immediately 6rex. He's gotten away with quite a lot this round already. U of T looking to see if they can piggyback off the momentum he set for them.
No, you're right. 6rex definitely has been the X factor, at least thus far. He's going to be taking a dirt nap right now, but damage has already been done. St. Clair trying to make it through the shower side. Smoke in the way to delay. Doomshroom on the other side. I mean, he's just going to spray through the smoke. That's just incredibly poor timing if you're St. Clair, and whatever execute you may have thought was going to happen, going to be stopped dead in its tracks. U of T retake momentum away from St. Clair. And I mean, with the way the econ is, I can't see a whole lot being brought into this round if you're St. Clair. So already things starting to slip away after map number 1.
Yeah, and I mean, that round is just so damning to them. I mean, you let Rex get away with a lot. This double spray through the smoke, well, it does look appealing. It's easy as cake. Because you know it's where you got to go through, and the second you see the util go down, it's like, well, what are they going to do? They're just all sitting there. So, Doomshroom, a decent pre-fire, and he's going to be able to find 2 for St. Clair. The onus really more on them. They need to be better on the entry, and guess what? D&D, that's one way to at least do it. Finds 3 through showers. Crimson finds another and cannot quite make up the distance to get away from Dizzy. Free just going to back up and play for the save.
Well, just when you thought that St. Clair was down for the count, a miracle presents itself. A little bit of an eco round, and St. Clair, they're going to upgrade to a bunch of rifles for free. I mean, you're just going to have to force this save here, but for St. Clair, huge round coming off of an eco to stall this momentum from U of T and D&D. He's the guy. If you can get him going, if he's the X factor for St. Clair where 6rex is for U of T, that's the guy you need to be going for St. Clair, and that's the biggest performance we've seen out of him thus far on Bind. Hoping to see more of that as we get into the later portions of this game.
Yeah, I mean, St. Clair, obviously, with that spike planted, they're just going to make sure that they can get away and not die to it. The Thrifty comes through. The TP heard, but I was going to say, I doubt D&D is really going to push through anything here. Just make sure once you have your rifle that you're able to keep it. Trust me, it'll help you in the long run.
So they say. Yeah, it's just great stuff there. I mean, somehow living on 1 HP as well. I mean, he gets the heal, but I mean, just an absolute prayer coming through. But hey, we take those.
As now U of T gonna have to see if they can muster something up. They've lost 2 of the last 3 now, and St. Clair, they found a little bit of recent success to work off of. D&D through showers again. Seems to be the #1 thing in his playbook, but U of T more than ready for this pressure onto the A side. As you can see, they're actually putting all 4 players, minus the Viper, in that area. The Fade Dog goes out and knows that they have sight lines on 1 close to the market side. That's going to be Dizzy, and now this walk-up is going to happen. Through A main, Seekers go through. The blind happens as well, and playing off the Sky utility, this is really good. The Cypher ult goes down. You know there's one in U-Haul. It's a good Sky Dog here, and we're actually just going to walk through the Molly? I mean, that's a little bit risque, but hey, you know what, Sushi, it works out. D&D with 2, and the rotate happens. I don't know, I was going to say, it's a little bit, again, you're playing potentially into a big play here from Pre on the Garden side of things, but at the end of the day, they find the kills to make it work out.
Yeah, and I was thinking the same thing. I mean, you had A, like, I appreciate the fake coming through, but there's really no reason to try and force yourself onto the other side if you already have A essentially under your control. And I mean, D&D, I mean, just keep holding left click, and you can find the boom bot, you find a second as well. And St. Clair find a way to tie it, and now you force U of T into an awkward situation with a little bit of eco around. Crimson with the Hero Vandal. But if all things go the way of St. Clair, they should be able to wrestle this momentum back in their favor, but still need to find a way to win this round.
In this walk-up, you can just feel the tension right now that
Oh, yeah.
double stacked up with
also-
Crimson, Sushi. You would think they're not just going to swing
come
this without
on.
at least
What are we
burning
doing?
Arena Eye, but they just walk on in. The double TP, but Sushi, he knows that there are a couple over there. He's going to be able to get dinked out, but it doesn't matter because Dizzy, 2 clean headshots, aim crisp as ever with the Sheriff. He'll be able to clean things up for St. Clair, and it's going to be yet another round. And man, really surprised that, you know, you double stack, but if you're going to swing and it's not off the back of Arena Eye, it's kind of confusing there to me.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, guys, what are we doing? Why are we double swinging the exact same position? Like, watch this. I mean,
least
he doesn't even have to move the crosshair.
Well, at least you would think, one would think to at least play the blind first,
yes,
right, when you're
like,
going to walk out, especially if you're suspicious that there's one over there. So
Baffling swing for UOT, but I mean, St. Clair will take it. And this, their first lead of this series is, so far this first half, been going back and forth between both of these teams. All things back to normal, though, for UOT. Rifles back online. St. Clair slowing the pace down again. Once again, shading towards this A and Shower side. 3 heading that way. 2 trying to make their way up through mid. D&D, once again, he's going to be this first point of contact coming through with Doom Shroom. Get his Molly out.
Huge.
Big Molly and D&D. He's just going to eat it. And the bullets of 6 Rex. He falls, and now St. Clair, the Shower's execute, gonna have to be stalled out.
man, and that is so well done from U of T. You send the Waylay ult, it has absolutely no value whatsoever, and you're able to just, with 1 Brim Molly, stall out the push completely. Seems that D&D wanted to go. The rest of his team had different opinions, as they had to back up and unfortunately leave him on a little bit of an island here. Crimson and company, they have the luxury of just being
30
able
seconds
to
left.
take this one slow. 30 seconds left to go. You're going to try to see if you can double back to the Shower side of things, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if maybe St. Clair,
There.
they might just want to play this one for some exit picks, as at this point, 15 seconds left to go. You got to try to find some pickups if you want to make a round out of this. A little more util. You cage it down 10 seconds, but you got to start thinking about getting a spike point down. The Viper walks out of the pit, and all of a sudden Draken's going to be able to find 1 pickup here for St. Clair. And maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. U of T, they kind of back up, and they just give them the sight.
Yeah, they completely, I don't know if it was an intentional play at a fake, but this slow coming through from Showers draws them off site and therefore gives St. Clair a chance to get back in, but doesn't matter as U of T, they're fighting back. Sushi, the last man standing, can't make it happen.
Wow.
Crimson clutches up. U of T, they almost sold the round, but are able to buy back in. They find themselves tied once again.
Yeah, I mean, my fault for the improper read on the situation. I was just thinking with the time and whatnot. At this point, it had to be picture perfect, and especially when you're dealing with a Viper Pit one way and you know that the pressure has to come through Showers, you would think that U of T would be all over that.
Honestly, I don't think it was an intentional, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it just kind of fell in their lap. Because like you were saying, maybe you call for the save there, but with how far Brim was playing in the site, I mean, like, you might as well go for it. I mean, and U of T, like, you have the Viper Spit set up in mid, and St. Clair just completely avoiding that. Like, all things considered, like, it was a really good call, but hell of a play coming through from Crimson and 6rex to keep U of T in it, because I think 9 times out of 10, St. Clair would walk away in that round with a win.
Yeah, they would, and Sushi, he almost had everybody on U of T on fraud watch in that 2v1, but that was not the case to be, as Draken now walking up towards this hookah side. 2 players positioned to his right. Just want to make sure you clear out the left side first, but you got to be very careful, especially if you put yourself into this hallway. This Reyna really does not like to swing off eyes at all. Don't think I've really even seen one that's generated a swing off from them. I mean, that's just, I'm not dissing here. I'm just saying what I feel like I've been seeing. If I'm mistaken, then my apologies. But Dizzy now positioned in garden. Gonna work his way through as Pre Gonna be last one left in tubes on this B side, and he will go down as well. Dizzy, they'll get the calls on all 3 of these players. Positions revealed, as now you just have to play for your CT counter.
Yeah, and I like the way that St. Clair played that, is trying to play off of contact, waiting for that space to be created for them. And look at this, D&D on this lurk coming through CT. And he's going to go unchecked. I mean, this is going to be disastrous for UFT. He's going to find one, and now 6rex, he knows what's about to happen. Still good to find Jello, but in between a rock and a hard place now, and D&D will indeed finish it off. St. Clair get the lead back.
Wow, man. I mean, that is just a huge play from D&D. I questioned the trigger discipline for just maybe even 1 second. He had it. It was good. Almost a little bit of overcookage, but
hey, never doubt.
Look, you find the win. And you know what they say, trust in Alex, and he will deliver. And D&D has done just that.
Nice little spray down from Dizzy as well, through the wall, to create that space and take out Pre. If Pre gets left there, you still have the Viper to potentially delay this push through from St. Clair. So underrated coming through from Dizzy, and quietly 11-5. He's been having a very, very solid game for this ACAT side.
Man, the camera gets shot instantly, and that nade's going to go down. It's going to be at least one that you can find with the shorty before Oddku going to be able to put you out of your misery.
This could be dangerous for St. Clair. Jello will fall, but Draken with the refrag, leaving Crimson in this 1v2. Spike still not down. Draken just looking for the exact perfect spot to make this happen. Crimson trying to come through the shower side. Going to be good for one, but D&D, as steady and cool as ever, gives St. Clair a 2-round lead, their biggest lead of the day.
I always love how cool it looks when Waylay players just get the one tap and then they just hit the rewind immediately. And they just, especially just with the way he just like vanishes back into the smoke. That was kind of cool to watch. But yeah, St. Clair getting the job done once again. They've won 5 of the last 6. They're looking to see if they can get UFT struggling even more.
I've got your trail.
There's pressure from Showers. Played up early on the defense as the Seekers are now going to move out, and that's going to make everybody on UFT back up. They will be taken down, and for positioning, UFT, they're going to have to back up a little more and then retake through U-Haul, and this is huge for them. Draken with a beautiful headshot, though, and that shuts down the showstopper. D&D has another as well, and he is just clearing out everyone. This player in triple not going to work out for them, and U-Haul, Crimson, you will suffer the same fate as your 4 teammates. Gets taken down 7-4, St. Clair ACAD poised to take this one with the momentum they're on.
Yeah, you said, like, what a huge play to shut down that Razal before it even gets going, and probably gonna even see it again. Like 6rex, perfect position to maybe sneak in a couple picks, but
Draken's just better, man.
Great shot from Draken. We haven't said his name a lot in either of these series, but huge pick coming through from your ACAD Clove player as we get into this last round before the half. It was a rough start for St. Clair, but they found their footing. It's the last 6 of 7 rounds going their way, and they can end this on an 8-4 half. I mean, what a way to finish, because UFT, at least at the onset of this half, they looked like they were in complete control, the exact opposite of what we saw on Split.
Man, it's almost like St. Clair know how to play around a Brim Molly now. That was really giving them lots of troubles early on, and now it seems like they definitely know how to bait it out quite well. As Pre and 6rex gonna try to see if they can find the retake here. Jello and company watching through. The judge gets pulled out, but Sushi with the refrag immediately as he's waiting to see if it's his turn to get a kill or die, and well, we know the answer to that one. D&D says, hey, you know what, why not me next?
I'm just in his nade.
I'll find the trade, as unfortunately, yeah, Tyler not the greatest fan of the Rays nade.
Hey, I mean, as long as they ended up getting the round win, I think that's all that matters. And SCC will take that, and they're going to take an 8-4 lead into their defensive side of Bind. Some great stuff, though. I mean, 6rex still having a good game, still making it interesting for UT, but just not enough to get them over the hump as St. Clair, they've awoken after a very sleepy start to bind, and hopefully they can continue this momentum. I think a pistol win here really sets them up for a good defensive half. Make sure they can keep this up. D&D and Dizzy going band for band right now. Both 14 picks coming in right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely been hitting the money spread so far, and we're going to see if they can spread this lead to even greater numbers as Dizzy and company waiting as this B long take from U of T has obviously been exposed from the gunfire through the Viper line, as now Dizzy sitting close just outside that hookah window. And I was going to say, yeah, can just periodically check that camera to see any advancements in U of T's pressure. At this point, you don't necessarily know if they're willing to stack or if they might think about hitting this Showers teleport to see if they can clear out Draken and move their way onto A. They're going to do exactly just that. The pick not going to go down. Draken actually finds two, and you know what? If you're St. Clair, you'll take that trade all day. The saturation to burn even more time. Fade Eye goes out, but D&D, he's waiting in the wings, finds one. Doomshroom puts him down, but the damage, one could argue, would almost have been done. Maybe I caster cursed it. Crimson with another, and we find ourselves in a 2v2. The re-rotation from U of T. 30 seconds left to go, and Dizzy's going to have to run all the way down to see if he can catch them out.
I mean, great pinch coming through from Sushi, and he's going to finish it. You thought that U of T had a big brain play set up, but St. Clair was ready for it. And now they find a pistol win, setting themselves up perfectly to find double digits to start this half. And I mean, you talk about a big play. I mean, Drake, and that's the game-winning play right here. Like you said, you're hoping to get at least one from Drake. And the fact that you get a second one and the intel getting called out as well forces that rotation for St. Clair to set U of T up in this uncomfortable position, force them to re-rotate. St. Clair take advantage of it. Easy pickings, and now they're primed to take this conversion.
I must wait a moment.
Yeah, and you just got to wait for them, especially when U of T, all classics are on the attack. You got to just try to utilize the fact that you're going to have the longer ranged gunfights against them. Don't be playing any close angles unless you're Dizzy, who's going to be able to find the pickup. Sushi is going to be able to find another, but Dizzy is going absolutely massive right now. 2 headshots through B long. Draken to clean up, but these guys are floating.
That's just pure ego swing from Dizzy right there. I mean, like you literally, what did you just say?
Sorry, Dizzy is floating. The other guys, they get picked off from like higher guns, you know,
They're
whatever.
coasting.
This guy floating right now.
And what did you just say before that happens? Is guys, you have the long range advantage. You don't need to play these close angles in a situation where they're going to be ecoing.
Yeah,
but
Dizzy shuts me up. Look, when you're going at the time when you were 14-6, yeah, maybe you can afford to play a little aggressive and fuel this fire a bit more because you got 17 on the docket.
Hey, you still got to put pedal to the metal, though. It's not over yet. UT going to have rifles online for the first time on this attacker side.
Feels, yeah.
D&D tucked in a very close angle here as they are waiting in anticipation for this U of T attack. Spread out defense from this St. Clair side. All avenues covered. You do have a little bit of space on A long. Sushi gets some shots out. Does connect onto Oddku, so intel gained. So that's going to give Dizzy a chance to really bolster this defense through hookah. But U of T, they're not taking any space right now. Really, really slow. They're just not sure how they want to approach this.
Yeah, and with 45 seconds left to go, you could argue right now that the timer essentially a 6th man right now as D&D, his position will go checked, and good job from Free to at least find some conversion there, Oddku. They get the second pick, but it goes to show you, listen.
30 seconds left.
Even if you play a little more patient than maybe you were comfortable with, Ev, you find 2 picks this round, wide open still.
Still wide open, but St. Clair,
Tripwire destroyed.
they found their way in through, and Dizzy, he's going to be a little bit exposed on this B site all alone. You do have Sushi coming in for support. The Twins are going to have to clutch up here. 2v4. Spike going down. Brim setting smokes out. Jello He's going to be going around the world here, but he's going to be running into Bree. Hopefully he's able to get that swing, but not going to happen. Sushi, the last man standing in the 1v4.
Yeah, and they know where he is.
Yeah, they know where he is. So this is all but over for St. Clair if you're Sushi trying to make it a little bit more expensive. I think at this point, you just try and save the rifle, get out with some exits. UT, they fight back. St. Clair, I think, did a good job at delaying this execute. I think losing D&D on the onset, definitely the catalyst. And hey, Sushi will take a second one for the road, and he will be able to escape with a rifle. So all things considered, a decent save coming through from St. Clair. You still have that 5-round lead, so just have to make sure you tighten the screws a little bit on this defense and go next.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, you know what? It wouldn't be the first time that we've seen the tale of two teams that simply know how to attack quite well on bind. And yeah, that's the other thing right here is that St. Clair, they are playing with the hot hand right now. And that means that they're going to want to take swings. They're going to want to take gunfights even on the defensive side of things. And I get it. For U of T, you want to say, okay, well, maybe we play disciplined, see if somebody oversteps. But I like at least the fact that D&D just sitting in that corner is able to burn so much time simply because they know he's there and he's not willing to give his body up.
You just need to find a kill. I mean, that's the only thing, if you're D&D, that could have gone better in that situation. I think maybe at least finding one changes how that round goes for UOT, but it's okay. Like we said, just has to go next, and this next round, still even, both sides taking a kill early. D&D in the Shower's position. Good to swing on Doomshroom. He knows where Onku is and is going to swing on that. That's pick number 3 coming through for D&D. Spike going down cold as well.
Ace watch.
He's on Ace Watch right now, but I think they'd be happier with this round win. Waylay ult going to be sent out, and he's going farming. That's pick number 4. Can he get the 5th one? He's going to have to swap to the cross, and he finds it. That's the ace for Alex. D&D showing out St. Clair. Ice cold in his veins. D&D getting it done.
Hey, you know what? That's a great play, and to me, I'm not going to lie. You know, it's an early call, but confidence-wise, this guy is on cloud 9 right now, and you can see that that might have been the nail in the coffin, the mental chalk for U of T. We'll have to see how they bounce back, but D&D putting on a show right now when St. Clair need it. A great job switching over to the Classic. Knows the player's low and going to be able to chase his ace down as now through Showers he wants even more. Wow. Quite bold, and yeah, this is what you get the dangerous territory. You hit the recall though, and at least you can play your life. You've taken down just a little under half health from Crimson, and the sprays the boost right now that Drake is looking to find. Unfortunately, none of the shots hitting.
None of the shots hitting, but if you're St. Clair, you know somebody has to be tucked on the other side of this Viper wall as UOT. Gonna try and bolster the reinforcements towards this A long side. Doomshroom gonna be left by his lonesome by this mid teleporter, but look at this 2-stack coming through for St. Clair.
This is gonna be so hard to clear here.
Yeah, and I mean with the Cypher trip as well coming through on that side, this is going to be very difficult to break through if you're UOT. And Dizzy with the judge finds the 2 picks they need to give themselves more space. Fade Util going in, Viper Wall going up. And now St. Clair, they are just absolutely pushing. Dizzy, he's trying to find an ace of his own, but Jello is going to shut that down. St. Clair find themselves at match point. All smiles right now for this ACAT team. They have absolutely dominated both games so far. Really, really solid stuff coming through from them.
Yeah, and I mean, the second I saw the hookah positioning right there from Dizzy, I was like, yeah, I just don't exactly know how you're going to be able to free this spot up here. It just seems that this guy's on a burner and a half right now, and somehow is just having a slightly better game than D&D. It's kind of flown a little more under the radar, but
yeah.
When you got 2 players that are giving you 40 and 15 between the 2 of them, and no one's really lacking behind in terms of numbers except maybe Jello, so long as he's putting in the work that's finding pickups for the team, that's good stuff. But what I don't like is giving away pickups for free. And if you're St. Clair, you might want to have a little more of a humbling experience this round. You've given up 2 that shouldn't have happened to go that way.
Yeah, maybe getting a little bit overzealous if you're St. Clair, but Draken will use his ult to stay in the fight. 4v3, definitely not unwinnable if you're St. Clair. You shut down that Raze ult as well. Draken, he's going on the hunt now, trying to extend his life, but will not happen. Jello, though, meanwhile, he's going to find Oddku in showers. 2v3 now, or should I say 1v3 coming through, and now this A site completely exposed for the side of U of T. Crimson upgrading to that rifle. Spike going down. Sushi in a tough position right now. I mean, you don't necessarily have to go for this.
Poison's off.
I think he's at least going to try. He's going to creep his way down this long CT side. Up in heaven, not much in terms of things he can see. I mean, no util as well, so this is just going to have to be a straight stick if he wants to go for it. I think at this point, just looking for exits, get Crimson down. Something at least for St. Clair. Is U of T not done yet, but is it too little too late?
The reason why that's still a big pick for Sushi is one ult orb away from getting that Viper's Pit. And again, when you have no buffers to give if you're U of T, that means with the active Viper's Pit down, you're going to have to somehow find yourself out of that scenario and win. And I mean, that's so versatile. I mean, Sushi could play this to essentially shut down an entire site, make it a one-site map for a round, or you could use it in sort of a retake fashion as well. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can get versatile with it. And I feel like with an ult that is so strong, yeah, you're that close. This would be a lot different if I think through ults that St. Clair were not all that far up on the score sheet on. But they definitely are. And as soon as you get through, when we're talking 12-6, you can just stack up ults and play off of them. Look, I mean, you got Jello one round away from Seekers as well. You could just play for ult dump.
It's going to be a good response. Draken able to answer. For D&D falling, do lose the op if you're St. Clair. They're going to respond as Doomshroom has been spotted out. You called it, this Viper's Pit now. Let's go down and Dizzy with 2 big picks. Right the ship for St. Clair. He's going to find the last remaining enemies for the side of U of T. Doomshroom with this spike, but it's still good to find Draken. Position revealed, be damned. Look at Jello, though. He's getting aggressive potentially on this lurk, and
3 out of 5.
it's all going to be up to Doomshroom now. Does have the
Jello
spike.
Heard him walking through cave, though. Yeah, like this.
Left.
I mean, at this point, it's also obvious, but like, yeah, I
With
want
the
to say you might have heard the footsteps a little bit early. Dizzy, he's actually
There
going to
you
be
go.
able to beat him into the punch to the CT side, and that is going to be St. Clair winning that one out, moving on to the semifinals in 2-0 fashion.
And I mean, a dominant 2-0 win as well. I mean, these were not cheapies coming through from St. Clair. They proved that they deserved to move on in these playoffs. And again, this is a preview for tomorrow's CVAL Open Finals. And I think St. Clair, a lot of information gained about how this U of T team likes to operate. So with that confidence and the fact that you know that you can beat these guys in a 2-0 fashion, they set themselves up very nicely for a finals rematch tomorrow.
Yeah, they definitely do. Proud of the guys and how they came out and played today, obviously. This one, a lot more of a stronger showing than the last time we had them on stream, and they were simply cooking all night tonight. Great shots around from D&D and Dizzy especially, but everyone else doing their job just as well needed. A lot more plays coming from utility that were good. Again, some questions, right, that I had on Split. And there were a couple times where their entries on Bind were a little lackluster, I will have to say. But through the end and through the thick of it all, they landed the shots that were most important when they mattered. And at the end of the day, those are the plays that are going to get the job done for St. Clair.
And what do we always say? It's not how, it's how many, right? And
13's all you need.
Exactly, and they find a way to get there, whether it's off the back of, you know, maybe taking advantage of some miscues from U of T or just suffocating defense, overwhelming offense. St. Clair showed a lot tonight. They showed a lot of resilience and a lot of composure as well that, like you said, we didn't really see a lot of the first time we had them on screen. This is a tale of two teams, I think, at this point, where we've seen a lot of improvements coming through from this ACATS team. Clearly, they've taken the feedback from the stream a month ago into today's game, and I've been impressed with what I've seen for this team. Really, really strong looks from a lot of guys on this side.
Yeah, I mean, there's not really any other way to put it. These guys just simply have gotten better. I mean, some of these plays were just simply unreal. Dizzy going huge here with this Ghost is, again, they get the job done. Congratulations, St. Clair ACAT, moving on to your semifinals. Who they face, I don't exactly know. I might have to talk to one of them and just pull up that the CCL bracket one more time.
Do you think it matters who they play? Because, I mean, if they just play with this type of attitude again,
right,
it's going to be tough for whoever they end up running into.
Well, you know, they do say that we usually here at St. Clair can field most of the top teams in Canada. You might be looking at one of your Academy Valorant rosters right now that are meeting that standard. Really good job tonight from the guys all around. Dizzy with yet another highlight. Gets the 4K on the final round to cap it off. But if you had to pick an MVP tonight, Evan, who are you choosing?
See, it's tough because I think either D&D or Dizzy, I think very, very well could take it, but I think I give it to D&D just, you know, not just the fact that he secures the ace, but I think a lot of
had a monstrous game 1,
just
2.
huge games, both in 1 and 2, and I think a lot of what St. Clair wants to do is based off of how he starts around. He's the one who sets the tone for a lot of these executes that come through. Now, the argument for Dizzy is that he's sort of like the strong guy in support. You know, you have this Cypher, this sort of Overwatch player playing these really tight angles, you know, just waiting for, you know, these trades or these swings to come through, just being that guy who's that rock, you know, that you can always rely on. So I think, you know, maybe you could argue it could be shared between both of them, but I think if I had to just pick one, probably would be D&D, but I mean, could go either way. What about you? What would you say?
Yeah, again, you know, you really could give it to either or. I'll go ahead and say, just for tonight, D&D mental-wise has been on an all-time high. This guy has been feeling it, and he's been so loud and boisterous in the background as well, and that's really good for keeping up vibes, at least for the team as well. So give me the D&D MVP, but Dizzy is right there. I mean, 24-8, and he put up some great numbers in game number 1
ACS
as
too.
well. 342. He's going to get the MVP of the map, but yeah, I mean, if we tally up all the numbers, I mean, both just with phenomenal showings.
Yeah, and I mean, even the guys that, you know, we didn't really talk about too much. You know, Draken had a much better map too. You know, Jello Sushi, big picks whenever that was required of them as well. So I think everybody on this team contributing to the win. I don't think there's really one guy who's sort of carrying them to this win. Absolutely a team effort, but flashy stats definitely do say a lot. Dizzy and D&D all over the score sheet, map 1 and 2, so consistent, and those guys can, again, tap into what we saw tonight into tomorrow's matchups. It's going to be really, really tough for any team to really break in and, you know, do some damage against this ACAT team. But we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
Yeah, we will. I've been told as well that we may be getting a little bit of an interview soon, so stay tuned for that as well. From who it's from, who knows?
We don't know.
But hey, we'll pick someone. And frankly,
I think somebody will be picked for us.
Look, frankly, right now, I mean, yeah, I'd like to get a word in with some of these guys because they're probably feeling pretty good heading into tomorrow.
I mean, it's gotta be Alex, right? I mean, like, he's been the most vocal. I think he would, at least in my eyes.
It's not gonna be. I'm calling it right now.
You don't think so? You don't think so? I mean, like, he's been talking all night. I mean, he's clearly been feeling it. I think he would be a really fun interview to have, but I think if I look, I don't know.
I know who that is.
Is it Dizzy behind me?
I believe
think.
that, you know, usually
Hey.
there'd be no spoilers if we were on our
Well,
normal setup,
we're in
but
such a unique situation.
we are.
I'm surprised they set the camera up. We could have just had him come sit in the
This is true,
in the interview
actually.
chair.
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh, no, there you go. Look, we might have had a hot swap. Maybe it's both
Oh,
of
wait,
them.
it's a dual interview.
There you go.
Okay, well, maybe that's why, because we don't have enough space for both
Sure.
of them to sit in the, you know, in the setup right now. So that's understandable as we get our Got our two guys getting set up here. Man, are we gonna have to think of double the questions now if it's a 2-man interview?
Don't even joke, lad.
Don't even joke, lad. They're making more work for us, but hey, that's fine because we couldn't decide who the MVP was, and now we get to hear insight from both of these guys.
Yeah.
As to maybe we should make them argue for their case as to why they should be the MVP. I guess we can ask them right now.
Yeah, I believe they're good to go. Wow, pulled up in
nice
the
little
pip as well. Welcome, D&D and Dizzy. You guys have had one hell of a performance tonight. I'll start with you first. Dizzy, you were having some crazy plays. Your lurks and timings, your sense of that on split was simply amazing. Tell us how you went through that entire matchup.
Just hearing the footsteps and my teammates' comms. So I couldn't do anything without my teammates. So, yeah.
So humble.
I know. I was going to say so humble and obviously very humble to share the MVP honors with your fellow teammate D&D. Now, Alex, I got to ask you, big performance on both Map 1 and Map 2. We were talking about how you sort of set the tone and set the pace for the offense for this team. What is really the secret to being that sort of X factor for the ACAT team, and what did you see tonight on either map?
It's going to be a little boring answer, guys, because I'm going to say the same thing. Like, I think the fact that my teammates trust me and they give me so much freedom and just, like, go do what you want. We're going to follow up with you. Just, like, play your game, complete freedom. Like, I have no restrictions, right? So I just play exactly how I want. And, yeah, I just fried them today.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's not because of your teammates. Maybe it's because of, the skins that you were running tonight on the guns as well. That definitely had a little bit of a factor in it. Guys, take me through the bind map. The last time we had you guys on stream, there were some times where it seemed like, and Woody and JP were breaking down, that you kind of overcomplicated your attacks sometimes. There were times where you had mistimings off of Sky utility being thrown down. That didn't happen today at all. Was that because of just simply how good Map 1 went and you guys were on the mental high, or were there discussions leading up to that from last game that you took away from?
I can go. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we discussed about, working together as a team and, like, not solo pushing as much. So, yet again, it was a team effort. Alex, you can, take it away.
Yeah, no, I think, honestly, we talked about it, and I think you are right in the sense that we're, like, overcomplicating it and overthinking it. I don't think it was much of a mental high that, like, did that, because we talked about it before, like, even Map 1, right? We're just talking about, like, how we wanted to play. And it was even before, like, the Map 1 domination that we were like, yo, we need to just, like, simplify things and stop, like, over pushing. Not me, obviously, but someone else. We just stopped, like, over pushing and things like that. So yeah, we talked about that. So I don't think it wasn't a mental high. We talked about it before, and
no, that's really good.
We're just ready when we got into the map.
And I mean, obviously, you two were sort of highlighting, but just talk about the big plays from your other teammates. Obviously, you talk about Sushi, Jelly, everybody making the big plays, and how important. And yeah, if you guys want to bring in anyone else into this interview to sort of get some thoughts. But just for you guys, how big is it to have, like, teammates and have the support to really let you guys do what you need to do and just have that confidence that whatever the situation is, you guys are going to find a way to come out on top?
Yeah, bro, and I can't really speak for Bowden, but I'm just going to answer my part to that question. Jordan, Jello, he's our IGL, and, like, every time I'm starting to go out, he's like, yo, just keep going, man. Like, and he lets me do whatever I want. He just keeps encouraging me, like, mid-round, and it's, like, really helpful for me, so I have to give a shout out to him. And obviously, like, Tyler, as annoying as he is, he's a really good player, and he does a really good job as well. So he's very smart playing, a smart player. But I have to give a big shout out to Jordan, man. He like mid round, I'm going for 2K. I might be overheating a little bit, but he's like, bro, keep going, and that's like how you become like completely no restrictions. Sorry.
No, yeah, I totally agree. With me, my team trusts me. If I gotta make a play, I gotta make a play. But it all comes down to the RGL. Jordan, he helps us with, rotations, communications, keeping it calm throughout the whole game. And yeah, just overall team effort, though.
Can I say one more thing?
Of course you can.
I just want to say also, Luke is Luke is a god, because you have to realize that, like, in teams, a lot of people are talking, but Luke listens really, really well, in the sense where, like, he just executes the plan. He doesn't interrupt us, and he just, like, helps us carry it out. So Luke has also been, like, a huge help. So sorry, I didn't mean to swear. My bad, guys.
It's all good. not the first time, but
no,
hey,
definitely not.
I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your night to come talk with us for a little bit. We are going to be saying that.
Hold on, wait. I got one more question.
Yeah?
Actually.
Last
Hold
one.
on. Last question, real quick. You guys play U of T again tomorrow. What's the message? What's the vibe going into tomorrow's CVL finals?
Don't answer the question. No question. No answer. No answer.
No, answer it.
Just
No,
answer it?
Yeah, answer it. You just stomped them 2-0. What's going to happen tomorrow?
I mean, all I can say is just good luck, I guess. Like,
It's gonna be a
scrim more,
competitive game. We're gonna
So
try very
humble,
hard.
so humble.
We're gonna try very hard, and yeah, we're
At
definitely
this
not.
point, we might as well get run 5 duelists at this point, you know? Like,
But yeah, we're good luck to them.
Jordan, what do you think about that? Your team
Yeah.
just said that you were going to run 5 duelists tomorrow.
5 duelists. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, you know, we're just 5 really talented, really attractive, especially me. You know, really attractive, really talented.
So
just
humble,
really
everybody on
confident
this team.
players. I think we showed our confidence today, and we do play them tomorrow, and it's kind of just like same story, you know, same thing.
All right, on that note, we got to end this thing, guys. It was really,
Thank you guys. I love you
it
guys
was
so
a-
much.
It was a really good game. Thank
Thank
you
you.
guys for joining us here. Thank you, Jordan, as well, for joining us on the couch. But we got to be signing off soon. So before we quickly leave, a little bit of a shout out. It's happening soon. Tomorrow, yeah, WeSec. Yes, so show up, obviously. But I was talking about an event that might be happening in a little over a week
What do you
from
mean?
now.
What do you mean might be happening? It is happening in a little over a week from now.
No one knows
2
it
weeks.
hasn't happened yet. What if it gets canceled?
Oh, true. But I mean, history says it probably is going to happen.
Yes.
You know, considering the fact that a lot of people's grades are riding on this event, but that still shouldn't deter you from the fact that you need to come out to Sakura Fest.
Jordan, what are we thinking, Jordan?
Yeah, what are we thinking about Sakura Fest? You're going to Sakura Fest, right?
Of course, you know, Sakura is just like right up my alley, you know. Just,
Yeah.
You know, all the games, all the fun, the atmosphere, the people. Just doesn't get better than that.
And what do we think about the premium admission? I mean, obviously the benefits speak for themselves, I think.
Yeah, the premium admissions, that definitely worth
You get a merch bundle.
Yeah.
definitely worth considering, you know, with the added bonuses. I mean, you're already going to be there for a nice time. Why not pay for the and get the most ultimate
Yeah, why not? And
experience
I mean,
possible?
you got
It's true.
Valorant money. As a as a humble man with deep pockets yourself, I know for sure that look, $40 to you for a
Ooh.
premium admin.
It's chump
that's-
change.
that's
Listen,
gotta be
listen, I
nothing.
can't say that Valorant money goes into the smartest things, but yeah, the premium admission, you know.
Make sure you guys register now using the QR code. We're looking to see you guys show up and show out in mass volumes. And now we got to be moving on. So, hey, you know what? Sakura Fest on April the 11th. Shout out quickly to our sponsors. Thank you to Subway, Tim Hortons, Alienware, Pre-Fire, Onezo, the SRC, the SEC Alumni Association, and did I say Alienware? I don't think I said Alienware, but thank you, Alienware. And Jordan, Evan, what do we say?
Thank you, sponsors. Yeah, we didn't give a shit. We got.
You gotta say it.
Yeah, you got
gotta
it next time.
Oh,
Let's
thank
try
you,
it.
sponsor. Thank you, sponsors, guys.
Okay, one more time, all together.
Yeah.
Right? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, sponsors.
sponsors.
And we want to shout out to the crew as well. We got Abril, we got Miguel, Owen in the back today. A little bit of a skeleton crew, but it doesn't matter. Thank you, Patrick, as always,
Yeah.
for being here. We'll be back tomorrow, like we said, for WeSec. We're super excited for that. And yeah, I think we'll close out the show. Jordan, do you want to close the show and do the outro for us?
Yeah, I mean, not much to say, you know, but just, you know, thank you guys for watching, supporting not just my team, but all the St. Clair esports teams in general on a night-to-night basis. You know, I'm an IGL, and
What?
yo, this guy just, yeah, we the best Valorant.
There you go. We the best Valorant.